Hi everybody, welcome to another one of our videos. We finally have a makeup tutorial on our YouTube channel. This has been very requested, so here we go. I am just starting by moisturizing my face, and then I'm going to go right in with a damp sponge. Normally I like to use a beauty sponge like a beauty blender or the Morphe beauty sponge or things like that, but I'm using all Aveda products and things that we have in the salon. So this is what I normally use in the salon for makeup applications, with just our tinted moisturizer is what I'm using right now. And then that regular like makeup sponge you can just get at Target or any kind of drugstore, and I just like to dampen it up a little bit just because I think it blends everything out a little bit more. So I use that tinted moisturizer all over my face, and now I'm going in with a little bit of concealer just under my eye and on my eyelid. That's just going to cover up any darkness or veins and things like that and make putting on eyeshadow a little bit easier. After I have my tinted moisturizer and my concealer on, I'm going to go ahead and just use a pressed powder. Aveda does also make a translucent powder, which is actually what I normally use, but I decided to switch it up a little bit. And this is a pressed powder that actually does have pigment to it, so it's going to give my skin a little more coverage here. If you didn't want any more coverage, you could just use a translucent powder. But it is really important that you are setting your face with the powder, just so that your concealer doesn't crease, and then putting on things like bronzer like I'm doing right now, it goes on seamlessly. It doesn't get blotchy and it blends really nicely. So like I said, I am using a bronzer now right in the hollow of my cheek, and then I'm going to go up on my forehead a little bit, on the sides of my nose, right under my bottom lip, and then also on my jawline. So anywhere that shadow would normally fall on your face is where you're going to go in with bronzer. And this is just going to warm up my face again. After using the tinted moisturizer, concealer, and then powder, you start looking a little bit flat. So using the bronzer just puts color back into your skin. And I'm just using a fluffy brush. I'm actually going to use that same brush for my blush as well. But before I do that, I'm taking that damp sponge again, and I'm just going in and kind of blending everything out. I feel like when I do that step, everything looks a little more like skin rather than it looking really powdery. So I just like to kind of blend everything in, and then I'm going to go in with my blush. Same brush there, but now I'm just focusing it right on the apples of my cheeks, and that's it. I'm not going to bring it anywhere else. And this is just a quick everyday makeup tutorial. There are certain steps that you can skip. Like if you didn't have time to do the tinted moisturizer all over, skip it and just do a little bit of concealer, but make sure you're still using your powder always. So now let's move on to brows here. Aveda just recently came out with these eyebrow pencils. Finally, yes, thanks Aveda. We have been wanting these for so long. We haven't had a brow product before. We've always just used powders. So this is our brow definer pencil, and you could see I just went in, and it is like a pencil that you sharpen. It's not a twist up. So I went in with that and then used the spoolie end to kind of blend everything out. And now I do like a little bit of a sharper brow. If you wanted everything to look very soft and very natural, skip what I'm doing right now. This is called carving out your brows. So I'm using a little bit of the concealer, the same one that I used on under my eye and on my eyelid, on a brow brush. It's just an angled brush, and I'm going in and carving everything out so that it does look a bit sharper. You can skip that step if you don't have time. Now I'm just treating my lips. This is like a chapstick, just a lip treatment from Aveda. So super important to make sure that you're moisturizing just like we did with our skin before we put on tinted moisturizer. So I went ahead and put the chapstick on, and then I'm going to move on, and I'll come back to lips later. So I'm just using a base shadow right now. This is just not a stark white, but it is pretty white. You want it to be close to whatever your natural skin color is. This is going to make sure that every shadow you put on after this step is going to blend out seamlessly. So I went ahead and did that, and then I'm taking a nice warm brown on a big fluffy brush, and I'm just putting that on the crease of my eye, and then just the outer corner. I'm not bringing it all the way in on my actual lid, and then I'm also dragging it down to the bottom there. And then I'm going to go in with a highlighting shade. Now this is a stark white with a little bit of a shimmer in it. I'm going to take that on my brow bone and the inner corner of my eye there. That's going to make your eyes look wider, and you're going to look brighter and more awake. I'm also going to use that as my regular highlighting shade for my face. So the tops of my cheekbones, right above my brow. I'm also going to bring that on just the tip of my nose. I'm going to bring it a tiny bit on my forehead, my Cupid's bow, which is the very top of my top lip right there. And I'm also going to bring a little bit on my chin. You're going to highlight anywhere that you want to highlight your face. So if you didn't love your nose, you're not going to go in and use a highlighter on your nose. Highlight is for anywhere that light naturally falls on your face. So the exact opposite of a bronzer. And then I'm sure you noticed I went in with that blush brush and I just kind of blended everything together before moving on to my lashes. Now, Aveda doesn't make an eyelash curler, but I do recommend curling your lashes before going in with mascara. But I didn't, and it works just fine. However, I do like a little bit more of a dramatic eyelash look. So you can see I'm going in coat after coat here. This is the black mascara is what it's called from Aveda. They do also make a brown shade. Keep in mind, Aveda is a naturally derived brand. So all of our products are made with plants and flowers. I love our brand, and I love what they stand for. Sometimes with things like mascara, it's not quite as strong as you may want it to be if you're used to having these big, voluminous, crazy lashes. It's going to be a little bit harder to achieve that, but you can still get there. So that's that. And then I moved on. I actually primed my lips first with a pencil, and then I went in with lipstick, and now with gloss. If you were on a time limit, skip the stick, skip the primer, maybe use a little bit of gloss and chapstick, and that is it, you guys. So that's my final everyday makeup look. If you guys want to see something specific or more detailed, then just comment below, and I am happy to make that for you guys. Make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like it, and we'll see you in our next video. Thanks. Bye, guys.